In the book of Hebrews, we find a powerful story of two brothers, Cain and Abel. Their choices and sacrifices show us important truths about faith and forgiveness. The Bible says that Abel's sacrifice to God was better than Cain's, but what made Abel's sacrifice better? Abel knew he was a sinner. He understood that sin and its punishment, death, separated him from God. Knowing this, Abel brought a perfect animal as a sacrifice. He gave a life to show he understood the law he had broken. Through the shedding of blood, he looked forward to the ultimate sacrifice, the sacrifice of Jesus on the cross at Calvary. Trusting in the sacrifice that would come, Abel was sure that he was right with God and that God accepted his offering. His faith in Jesus' sacrifice pleased God. It's important to remember that Cain had the same opportunity as Abel. He also had the chance to learn and accept these truths. Their different paths were not because God chose one over the other. The difference was in their choices. While Abel chose faith and obedience, Cain chose disbelief and rebellion. He rejected the need for God's help and decided to rely on himself. However, Cain's sacrifice lacked something important: God's involvement. It couldn't please God because Cain didn't understand that he needed forgiveness. The story of Cain and Abel shows us two types of people that will always exist. One group, like Abel, understands their need for forgiveness and trusts in Jesus' sacrifice for salvation. They accept the sacrifice made for sin, admitting their own sinfulness and looking to Jesus' sacrifice on the cross. The other group, like Cain, relies on their own goodness. They reject the need for God's help and try to come to God on their own terms. But their sacrifice, without God's involvement, is not enough. It cannot bridge the gap between humanity and God. Only through faith and obedience can we find acceptance with God. The story of Cain and Abel is a timeless reminder that true forgiveness and acceptance from God come through faith in Jesus' sacrifice. Like Abel, may we understand our need for forgiveness and trust in the sacrifice made for us.